Harper. Martha and I have been talking all week about your sermon last Sunday. You know, it's really wonderful how in just 2 short years you have taken on the spirit of Brooklyn.
That's very gratifying, Miss Brewster.
Well, you see, living here next to the church all our lives, we've seen so many ministers come and go. The spirit of Brooklyn, we always say, is friendliness. And your sermons are not so much sermons as just friendly talks.
Personally, I've always enjoyed my talk with Cardinal Gibbons. Or have I met him yet?
No, dear, not yet. Were the biscuits good?
Bully.
Won't you have another biscuit, Dr. Harper?
Oh, no, thank you. I'm afraid I'll have no appetite for dinner now. I always eat too many of your biscuits just to taste that lovely jam of yours.
But you haven't tried the quince. You know, we always put a little apple in it to take the tartness out.
No, thank you.
Well, we'll send a jar over.
You keep it here so I can be sure to have your biscuits with it.
Oh, dear. You know, I do hope they don't make us use that artificial flour again. I mean, with all this war trouble. You know, it may not be very gracious of me, but I am about to come to the conclusion that this Mr. Hitler isn't a Christian.
Oh, if Europe were only on another planet.
Europe, sir?
Yes, Teddy.
Point your gun the other way.
Gun?
Teddy.
To the west. There's your danger, there's your enemy, Japan.
Yes.
Teddy.
Yes, of course.
Not so much talk about Europe and more talk about the canal.
Well, let's not talk about war, dear. Would you like another cup of tea?
No, thank you, Aunt Abby.
Dr. Harper?
Oh, no, thank you. You know, Miss Abby, war and violence seem far removed from these surroundings.
Yes, it is peaceful here, isn't it?
Yes, peaceful. The virtues of another day, they're all here in this house. The virtues that went out with candlelight and good music, and low taxes.
Yes. Well, it is one of the oldest houses in Brooklyn. It's just as it was when Grandfather Brewster built it. Oh, except for the electricity. We use it as little as possible. Mortimer persuaded us to put it in.
Yes, I understand that. Your nephew Mortimer seems to only live by electric light.
Oh, yes, he has to work so late, the poor boy. Oh, we understand that Elaine is going with him to the theater again tonight. Teddy, your brother's coming by a little later.
Delighted.
Oh, we are so glad that it's Elaine that Mortimer takes to the theater with him.
Well, it is a new experience for me to wait up until 3 o'clock in the morning for my daughter to be brought home.
Oh, Dr. Harper, I do hope you don't disapprove of Mortimer.
Well,
we would feel so guilty about it, Sister Martha and I, if you did, since it was in our home that your daughter met Mortimer.
yes, Miss Abby. Let me say immediately that I think Mortimer himself to be quite the worthy gentleman. I must also admit that I've watched the growing affection between him and my daughter with some trepidation, Miss Abby. For one good reason.
His stomach, you mean?
Stomach?
His dyspepsia. I mean, he's bothered with it so, the poor boy.
No. What I'm referring to is a unfortunate connection with the theater.
The theater? Oh, no, Dr. Harper. Mortimer writes for a New York newspaper.
I know, Miss Abby, I know, but a dramatic critic is constantly exposed to the theater, and I don't doubt but what some of them do develop an interest in it.
Oh, well, not Mortimer. You need have no fear of that. Mortimer hates the theater.
Really?
Oh, yes. He writes awful things about the theater. But who could blame the poor boy? I mean, he was so happy writing about real estate, which he really knew something about. And then they made him take this terrible night position.
My.
Oh, yes. But as he says, the theater can't last much longer anyway. In the meantime, it's a living. Oh, yes, I think we'll give the theater perhaps another year or two. Oh, dear. I wonder who that could be. No, Teddy, dear, I'll get it. I'll get it. Oh, hello, Mr. Roofy.
Miss Brewster.
Oh, how are you, Mr. Clyde?
Very well, Miss Brewster.
What news have you brought me?
Colonel, we have nothing to report.
Splendid, gentlemen. Thank you. At ease.
You both know Dr. Harper.
Sure. Hello, Dr. Harper. We've come for the toys for the Christmas fund.
Oh, yes, yes.
That's splendid work you gentlemen do, fixing up discarded toys so poor children can have a happier Christmas.
It gives us something to do when we have to sit around the station.
You know, you get tired of playing cards, and then you start to clean your gun, and first thing you know, you shot yourself in the foot.
Oh, dear. Teddy, dear, I want you to go upstairs and get that big box out of Aunt Martha's room. Oh, how is Mrs. Brophy, Mr. Brophy? Mrs. Brophy has been quite ill, Dr. Harper.
Pneumonia.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
George!
Well, she's better now. A little weak still.
Oh, well, I am going to send you some beef broth. Here, take it.
Don't bother, Miss Abby. You've done so much for her already.
Oh, well, we made it this morning. Sister Martha is taking some to Mr. Beninsky right now. It will only take me a minute. Please, sit down. Make yourselves comfortable. All of you.
She shouldn't go to all that trouble.
Listen, just try and stop her or her sister from doing something nice, and for nothing. They don't even care how you vote.
When I received my call to Brooklyn and moved next door, my wife wasn't well when she died and for months thereafter. If I know what pure kindness and absolute generosity are, it's because I know the Brewster sisters.
Now, Colonel, you promised not to do that.
I cannot order the release of those supplies without contacting the captain.
You know, he used to do that in the middle of the night. Neighbors raised Cain with us. I think they're all a little afraid of him anyways.
He's quite harmless.
Oh, look, suppose he does think he's Teddy Roosevelt. There's a lot worse people that could think he was.
That's a shame, though. Nice family like this hatching a cuckoo.
Well, his father, the old girl's brother, seemed he was kind of a genius, wasn't he? And their father, Teddy's grandfather, I think I heard he was a little bit cuckoo, too.
Yeah, he was crazy like a fox. He made $1 million.
Really? You're in Brooklyn?
Yeah, patent medicine. He was a kind of quack of some sort. Old Sergeant Edwards remembers him. He used the house here as a clinic and tried him out on people.
Yeah, and I hear he used to make mistakes occasionally, too.
Yeah, the department never bothered him, though. He was really useful in autopsies, especially poison cases.
Well, whatever he did, he left his daughter set for life. Thank God for that.
And not that they'd spend any of it on themselves.
Yes, I'm well acquainted with their charities.
You don't know a tenth of it. When I was with the Missing Persons Bureau, I was trying to run a trace on this guy we never did find. Say, you know that there's a renting agency that has this house down on its list for furnished rooms? They don't rent rooms, but you can bet that anyone who does come here looking for a room goes away with a good meal and probably a few dollars in his kick.
It's just a way of digging up some people to do some good to.
Oh, well, now, isn't this nice?
Hello, Miss Brewster.
How do you do, Mr. Brophy? Dr. Harper? Oh, Mr. Klein.
Hi, Miss Brewster. We stopped by for the Christmas toys.
Oh, yes, Teddy's Army and Navy. They wear out, but they're all packed.
Oh, the Colonel's up after them now. It seems the cabinet has to okay it.
Well, of course. Oh, I hope Mrs. Brophy's better.
Oh, she's fine, ma'am, thanks. Your sister's gone to get some soup for me to take to her.
Oh, yes, we made it this morning. I just took some to a poor man who broke ever so many bones.
Oh, you're back, Martha Good. How is Mr. Beninsky?
Oh, well, dear, it's pretty serious, I'm afraid. The doctor was there. He's going to amputate in the morning.
Oh, can we be present?
No. I asked him, but he said that it was against the rules.
So you couldn't be of any service. Besides, you must spare yourself something.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be fine.
Mr. Rose, make sure it's good and hot.
Yes, ma'am.
This is great. That O'Malley boy is nuts about soldiers.
What is this? Now, this goes to Australia.
Oh, Teddy, dear, put it back.
No. I promised fighting Bob Evans, huh?
Put it back, Teddy.
No.
What does it matter what kid gets it? Bobby Evans, Izzy Cohen? Look, we'll be on our way, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Oh, not at all, not at all. Goodbye.
Well, I must be getting home.
It's been nice to see you.
George! George, the blockhouse!
The blockhouse.
Oh, the stairs are always some on hill.
Have you ever tried to persuade me of someone other than Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh, no. Oh, no. He's so happy being Teddy Roosevelt.
Once, a long time ago, remember, Martha? We thought if he would be George Washington, it would be such a nice change for him.
And he stayed under his bed for days and wouldn't see anybody.
We'd so much rather he be Mr. Roosevelt than nobody.
Yes. Well, anyway, you'll see that he signs these.
What are they? Dr. Harper's made arrangements for Teddy to go to the Sunnydale, Happydale Sanitarium after we pass on.
But why should Teddy sign any papers now?
Oh, it's better to have it so. If the Lord should take you away suddenly, perhaps we couldn't persuade Teddy to commit himself. And that would mean a present legal procedure. Mr. Witherspoon understands they're to be filed away until the time comes to use them.
Mr. Witherspoon? Who's he?
He's the superintendent of Happydale.
Dr. Harper's made arrangements for him to stop in and meet Teddy tomorrow or the next day.
Oh.
Well, I must be going along, or Elaine will be over here looking for me.
Oh, well, give our love to Elaine. And please, Dr. Harper, don't think harshly of Mortimer because he's a dramatic critic. Somebody has to do those things.
Did you just have tea? Isn't it rather late?
Well, yes, dear, and dinner's going to be late, too.
So why?
Teddy, good news. You're going down to Panama and dig another lock in the canal.
Bully, just bully. I'll prepare at once.
Oh, Abby, while I was out?
I couldn't wait for you. I didn't know when you would be back and Dr. Harper was coming.
But all by yourself?
I got along just fine.
Well, I'll run right downstairs to see you.
No, dear, no. I was alone and I didn't have time. So, well, look in the window seat. Oh, dear. I hear something. Oh, Elaine, how are you, dear?
Good afternoon, Miss Abby. Good afternoon, Miss Martha. I thought Father was here.
He just this minute left. Didn't you meet him?
No, I took a shortcut through the cemetery. Mortimer hasn't come yet?
Oh, no, dear, not yet.
Oh, he asked me to meet him here. Do you mind if I wait?
Oh, not at all.
No, dear. Come, sit down, sit down.
Well, we really must speak to Mortimer about doing this to you.
Doing what?
Well, he was brought up to know better when a gentleman is taking a young lady out. He should call for her at her house.
Well, there's something about calling for a girl at a parsonage that discourages any man who doesn't embroider.
Well, he has done it too often, and we will speak to him.
Oh, please don't. After a young man whose idea of nightlife was to take me to prayer meeting, it's wonderful to go to the theater almost every night of my life.
Well, it's comforting for us too, dear, because if Mortimer has to see some of those plays he has to see, at least he's sitting next to a minister's daughter.
Oh, Elaine, what you must think of us not having tea cleared away at this time.
Oh, now don't bother with anything in the kitchen until Mortimer comes, and then I'll help you.
All right.
Mortimer should be here any minute now.
Yes, Father must have been surprised not to find me at home. I better run along and just tell him good night.
It's a shame you missed him, dear.
If Mortimer comes, you tell him I'll be right back. Hello, Mort.
Hello, Elaine. Hello, Aunt Martha.
Oh, Abby! Mortimer's here!
Were you going somewhere?
I was just going to tell Father not to wait up for me tonight.
I didn't know that was still being done, even in Brooklyn.
Oh, hello, Mortimer!
Hello, Aunt Abby.
How are you, dear?
I'm all right, and you look well. You haven't changed much since yesterday.
Oh, my goodness, it was just yesterday, wasn't it? We're seeing a lot more of you lately. Well, dear, sit down. Come, sit down.
Abby? Yes? Don't we have something to do in the kitchen?
The kitchen?
You know, the tea things.
Oh, yes, the tea things. Well, you two just make yourselves at home.
Just make yourselves at home.
Well, can't you take a hint?
No, that was pretty obvious. Lack of inventiveness, I should say.
Yes, that's exactly what you'd say.
Where do you want to go for dinner?
I don't care, I'm not very hungry.
Well, I just had breakfast. Suppose we wait until after the show?
But that'll make it pretty late, won't it?
Not with the little stinker we're seeing tonight.
You want to be fair to these plays.
Are these plays fair to me?
I've never seen you walk out on a musical.
That musical isn't opening tonight.
No?
Darling, you'll have to learn the rules. With a musical, there are always 4 changes of title and 3 postponements. They liked it in New Haven, but it still needs a lot of work.
No, I was hoping it was a musical.
You have such a light mind.
Not a bit. Musicals somehow have a humanizing effect on you. After a serious play, we joined the proletariat in the subway, and I listened to a lecture on the drama. After a musical, you bring me home in a taxi, and you make a few passes.
Oh, wait a minute, darling. That is a very inaccurate piece of reporting.
Oh, I will admit that after the Berman play, he told me I had authentic beauty, and that's a hell of a thing to say to a girl. It wasn't until after our first musical, he told me I had nice legs. And I had, too.
You know, for a minister's daughter, you sure know a lot about life. Where'd you learn it?
In the choir loft.
I'll have to explain that to you sometime, darling. The close connection between eroticism and religion.
Religion never gets as high as the choir loft. Which reminds me, I better run over and tell Father not to wait up tonight.
I've never been able to rationalize it.
What?
My falling in love with a girl who lives in Brooklyn.
Falling in love? You're not stooping to the articulate, are you?
No. The only way I can regain my self-respect is to keep you in New York.
Did you say keep?
No. I've come to the conclusion that you're holding out for the legalities.
I can afford to be a good girl for quite a few years.
And I can't wait that long. Where can we be married in a hurry? Say tonight.
I'm afraid Father will insist on officiating.
I'll bet your father could make even the wedding service sound pedestrian.
Are you by chance writing a review of it?
Forgive me, darling. It's an occupational disease. I just might give that play tonight a good review.
Don't pretend you love me that much.
Be sure and tell your father not to wait up for us tonight.
I think I'd better tell him to wait up for me.
All right, I'll telephone Winchell and have him publish the banns.
Nevertheless.
Fine. Everything formal and legal, but not later than next month.
Oh, darling, I'll talk it over with Father and we'll set the date.
No. Have to see what's in rehearsal first. There'll be a lot of other first nights in October.
Well, hello, Mortimer.
How are you, Mr. President?
Bully, just bully. What news have you brought me?
Just this, Mr. President. Your country is squarely behind you.
Yes, I know. It's wonderful, isn't it? Well, goodbye.
Where are you off to, Teddy?
Hannibal.
Hannibal's in the cellar. He likes to dig locks for the canal down there.
Oh, you're very sweet with him. He's very fond of you.
Well, he was always my favorite brother.
Favorite? Were there more of you?
There was another brother, Jonathan.
I never heard of him. Your aunts never mentioned him.
No, we don't like to talk about Jonathan. He left Brooklyn at a very young age, by request. He was the kind of boy who used to like to cut worms in two with his teeth.
What became of him?
I don't know. He always wanted to be a surgeon like grandfather, but he refused to go to medical school first. Well, his practice kind of got him into trouble.
Oh, aren't you two going to be late for the theater?
Oh, no. We're skipping dinner. We won't have to start for half an hour.
Oh, well, I'll leave you two alone together again.
Oh, don't bother, darling. I'm just going to run over and tell Father good night. Before I go out with you, he likes to pray over me a little. I'll be right back. I'll head to the cemetery.
You know, if the prayer isn't too long, I'll have time to lead you by distilled waters.
Oh, Mortimer, that's the first time I've ever heard you quote the Bible. I knew that Elaine would be a good influence on you.
By the way, I'm going to marry her.
Oh, Mortimer! Oh, you darling! Martha, come in here at once. We've got wonderful news. Mortimer and Elaine are getting married. Oh, yes! Oh, yes! I'm so happy for you. Oh, we hoped it would happen just this way.
Oh, Elaine must be the happiest girl in the world.
Happy? Just look at her leaping over those gravestones. What is that?
What's what, dear?
statue there. That's a horned carnea.
Oh, no, dear. That's Emma B. Stout ascending to heaven.
No, on Mrs. Stout's left ear. That bird. That's a red-crested swallow. I've only seen one of those before in my life.
Mortimer, how could you be thinking about birds at a time like this? What with Elaine and the engagement and everything?
It's a vanishing species. Thoreau was very fond of them. That reminds me. I left a large envelope here last week. It was a chapter for my book on Thoreau. Have you seen it?
Well, if you left it here, dear, it's here somewhere.
Well, what are your plans? Tell us about the marriage, and tell us some more about Elaine.
Elaine? Oh, yes, Elaine thought it was brilliant.
What must?
My chapter on Thoreau.
Listen, when Elaine gets back, I think we should have a little celebration. Oh, we'll have a drink to their happiness. Isn't there some of that Lady Baltimore cake left? Oh, yes. And I'll open a bottle of wine.
And to think it happened in this room.
Oh, listen, since your fiancé sitting next to you tonight, maybe it'll be something you can enjoy for once. Maybe it'll be something romantic. Oh, Mortimer, what's the name of the play, dear?
Murder Will Out.
Oh, dear. Dear.
The first thing you see when the curtain goes up will be a dead body. Come in here, please.
Yes, dear, what is it?
You were going to make plans for Teddy to go to that sanitarium, Happydale.
Yes, dear. Dr. Harper stopped by this afternoon, and he brought the papers for Teddy to sign.
Well, he's got to sign them right away.
Well, Dr. Harper thinks so, too. That way there won't be any legal difficulties.
He's got to sign them this minute. He's down in the cellar. Let's get him up here.
There's no such hurry as that.
Oh, no, dear. But Teddy is down digging in the canal. I mean, there's no getting his mind on anything else.
Teddy's got to go to Happydale now. Tonight.
Oh, no, dear, that's not until after we're gone.
Right away, I tell you, right away.
Oh, Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? Now, you know that as long as we are alive, we will not be separated from Teddy.
Listen, darlings, I'm afraid I have some very frightfully shocking news for you. Come sit. Now, remember, we've all got to try and stay calm and keep our heads about this. You know how we've always humored Teddy because we thought he was harmless.
Why, he is harmless.
He was harmless. That's why he has to be at Happydale, why he must be confined.
Now, Mortimer, why have you suddenly turned against Teddy, your own brother?
Well, you've got to find out sometime. It might as well be now. Darlings, Teddy has killed a man.
Oh, nonsense, dear.
But there's a body in the window seat.
Yes, we know, dear.
But it has nothing to do with Teddy.
Now, don't forget about it. Just forget you ever saw the gentleman.
Forget?
Oh, we never dreamed you'd peek.
Who is he?
Well, his name is Hoskins, dear. Adam Hoskins. Now, that's really all I know about him. Oh, except that he's a Methodist.
That's all you know about him? What's he doing here? What happened to him?
He died.
Martha, men do not just get into window seats and die.
Of course not, dear. He died first.
How?
Well, you see, come and sit down, Mortimer. I do wish you weren't so inquisitive. Now, the gentleman died because he drank a glass of wine with poison in it.
How did the poison get into the wine?
Well, we put it in wine because it's less noticeable. Oh, when it's in tea, it has a distinct
older. And I put him in the window seat because Dr. Harper was coming.
So then you knew what you did.
Yes.
You didn't want Dr. Harper to see the body.
Well, not a tea. That wouldn't have been very nice. Now just forget about the whole thing, dear. I think that Aunt Martha and I are entitled to our little secrets.
And don't you tell Elaine.
No.
Oh, Abby, while I was out, I dropped in on Mrs. Schultz. She's much better, but she would like us to take Junior to the movies again.
Oh, well, I think we could probably do that. Let's see, with our schedule. Maybe we could do this tomorrow or the next day.
Yes, but this time we'll go where we want to go. Junior's not going to drag me into another one of those scary pictures.
Okay. Stay home. I need Al at the city desk. Al, do you know who this is? That's right. Listen, Al, when I left the office today, I told you where I was going. Do you remember? Well, where did I say? Right. Well, I'm about a half hour from Brooklyn now. What time have you got? That's right.
That's too much.
Then I must be here. Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, come in here, please.
Here. Yes, what is it?
What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
What are we going to do about what?
There's a body in here.
Yes, dear Mr. Hoskins.
Good heavens, I can't turn you over to the police, but what am I going to do?
Well, for one thing, dear, stop being so excited.
For pity's sake, stop worrying. We told you to forget about it.
Forget? My dear Aunt Abby, how can I make you realize that something has got to be done?
Now, Mortimer, you behave yourself. You are too old to go flying off the handle like this.
But Mr. Hotchkiss,
Hoskins, dear.
whatever his name is, we can't just leave him in here.
Oh, we don't intend to, dear.
No. Teddy is down in the cellar now digging another lock for the canal.
You're going to bury Mr. Hotchkiss in the cellar?
Oh, yes, dear. That's what we did with the others.
But you can't bury others?
The other gentleman.
When you say others, do you mean others? As in more than one others?
Oh, yes, dear. Let me see. This is 11, isn't it?
No, Martha, this makes 12.
Oh, I think you're wrong, Abby. This is only 11.
Now, I remember when Mr. Hoskins came in, it occurred to me that he would make an even dozen.
Well, I don't think you can claim the first one.
Oh, dear. I claimed the first one, and so that makes 12.
Hello. Oh, wow.
Well, anyway, they're all down in the cellar.
Shh. Al, I called you tonight because I'm feeling a little pirandello. Forget it. You wouldn't know. Listen, you've got to do something for me. I can't review that play tonight. You've got to get a hold of George. What? Well, find him. This is my department, and I'm running it. Find him. Okay. Let's see. Where were we? 12. 12?!
Yes, dear. Abby thinks we ought to count the first one, so that makes 12.
Who was the first one?
Well, let's see. Mr. Midgley. He was a Baptist.
Well, of course, I still think we can't claim full credit for him. Well, because he just died.
What your Aunt Martha means is that he died without any help from us. You see, he had come by and he was looking for a room.
Oh, It was right after you moved to New York.
Yes, and we couldn't see letting that lovely room go to waste with so many people needing it.
And he was such a lonely old man.
Well, all his kith and kin were dead, and he was so forlorn and unhappy.
We felt so sorry for him.
And so, when his heart attack came and he died sitting there in that chair, looking so peaceful, well, remember, Martha, we decided right then and there that if we could help other lonely old men find that same peace, we would.
So then, that man dropped dead in this chair.
Yes.
How awful.
Oh, no, dear. It was quite like old times. Your grandfather always used to have a cadaver or two around the house. And you see, Teddy had been digging in Panama, and he thought Mr. Midgley was a yellow fever victim.
So, obviously, we had to bury him immediately.
So we all took him down to Panama and put him in the lock. Now, you see, dear, why we told you not to worry about it. We know exactly what has to be done.
So then, that's how all this got started. That man walking in here and dropping dead.
Well, of course we realized that we couldn't depend on that happening again.
So, you remember all those jars of poison that were up on the shelves in Grandpa's laboratory all these years?
And you remember your Aunt Martha's knack for mixing things. I mean, you've eaten enough of her piccalilli.
Well, for a gallon of elderberry wine, I take 1 teaspoonful of arsenic, and add a half teaspoonful of strychnine, and then just a pinch of cyanide.
Should have quite a kick to it.
Oh, yes! One of our gentlemen found time to say, how delicious.
I must get things started in the kitchen.
Oh, I wish you would stay for dinner, Mortimer.
Oh, yes. I'm trying out a new recipe.
I couldn't eat a thing.
I'll help you in the kitchen in a minute, dear. Oh, Mortimer, I'm so happy that you know the whole thing now. I feel better. Now, you have to wait for Elaine, don't you? Well, you must be so happy. Oh, dear, I'm going to just leave you here alone with your thoughts.
Please don't be
It's you.
Don't be cross, darling. Father could see that I was excited, so I told him about us, and that made it hard for me to get away. But listen, he's not going to wait up for me tonight.
Listen, Elaine. You run along home, and I'll call you up tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
You know I always call you every day or two.
But we're going to the theater tonight.
No. No, we're not.
Well, why not?
Listen, Elaine. Something's come up.
What, Mortimer? You've lost your job.
No, I haven't lost my job. I'm just not covering that play tonight, so you go home.
But I've got to know what's happened. Certainly you can tell.
No, dear, I can't.
But if we're going to be married...
Married?
Have you forgotten that not 15 minutes ago you proposed to me?
I did? Oh, yes, I did. Well, as far as I know, that is still on, but you've got to go home now.
Listen, you can't ask me to marry you and throw me out of the house the next.
Dear, I'm not throwing you out of the house. No, you get out of here.
I'm not going anywhere. Not until I've had some kind of explanation.
Hold on. Hello? Well, hold on 1 minute. What? No, I know it's important, but it can't wait a minute, can't it? Right, hold on. Listen, Elaine. You're a very sweet girl, and I love you very much, but I've got a lot on my mind right now, so you have got to go home.
Don't try to be masterful.
When we're married, and I have problems to face, I hope that you'll be less tedious and uninspired.
And when we're married, if we're married, I hope you're adequate.
Elaine! Elaine! The phone! still there? Al! Hello? Al? Hello?
Mortimer, that is the doorbell, not the telephone. Oh, how do you do? Won't you come in?
I understand you have a room to rent.
Yes.
Are you the lady of the house?
Yes, I'm Miss Brewster, and this is my sister, another Miss Brewster.
My name is Gibbs.
Oh, well, Mr. Gibbs, why don't you come over here and sit down, Mr. Gibbs? I'm sorry, but we're just setting the table for dinner.
Al, at the city desk!
May I see the room?
Sorry, wrong
Why
number.
don't you come and sit down and let's get acquainted?
That won't do much good if I don't like the room.
Is Brooklyn your home?
I haven't got a home. Live in a hotel. Don't like it.
Oh, are your family Brooklyn people?
I haven't got any family.
Oh, are you all alone in this world?
Yep.
Oh, well, Martha. Come and sit down, Mr. Gibbs. I think you have come to just the right house.
What church do you go to? Because it's an Episcopal church practice next door.
Oh, I'm Presbyterian. Used to be.
What's George doing in Bermuda? Well, of course I told him he can go to Bermuda. It is my department, isn't it?
There's always this much noise.
Oh, he doesn't live with us.
We'll find the errand boy. The bright one. The one we don't like. He can cover it.
I'd really like to see the room.
Well, it's upstairs, dear. Why don't you try a glass of our wine before we go up?
Never touch it.
Oh, but we make it ourselves. It's elderberry wine.
Elderberry wine.
He could be the
I haven't tasted elderberry wine since I was a boy.
What?
Thank you.
No, Al, I'm not drinking, but I am going to start now.
Elderberry bushes?
Oh, no, but the cemetery is full of them.
Do you serve meals?
Oh, well, we might, but try our wine first.
Not that wine, dear.
No, dear. No, not that.
No! Don't get... You can't get out of here! Are you crazy? Do you want to die? Get out!
Well, now you've spoiled everything.
Listen, I don't know how to explain this to you, but you can't do things like this. It's not only against the law, but it's wrong. It's not a nice thing to do. People wouldn't understand. He wouldn't understand.
Abby, we shouldn't have told Mortimer.
No, what I mean is, well, this is beginning to develop into a very bad habit.
No, Mortimer. We don't stop you from doing things that you like to do. Interfere with us.
Go away! Hello? Oh, wow. Look, I can't cover the play tonight. That's all there is. What? All right. I'll cover the first act, and I'll pan the hell out of it. But look, you have to do something for me. Get a hold of O'Brien, our lawyer, head of our legal department, and have him meet me at the theater. Right. You will do this for me, won't you? Okay. Then I'm starting now. Right. Look. I've got to go to the theater. I can't get out of it. But before I go, I want you both to promise me something.
Well, we'd have to know what it was first.
Look, I love you both very much, and I know that you love me too, and I wouldn't want anything in the world to happen to you two.
Well, what on earth could happen to us?
Well, I just want you to promise me this one little thing.
Well, what is it, Mortimer?
Don't do anything. I mean, don't do anything. Just don't let anyone in this house while I'm gone, and leave Mr. Hoskins right where he is.
Why?
Because I've got to have time to think. And I've got quite a bit to think about. You know I wouldn't want anything to happen to you two.
Nothing would. No, well,
Anyways, you'll do this for me, won't you?
well, we were planning on holding services before dinner.
Yes.
Services?
Well, certainly. You don't think we'd bury Mr. Hoskins without a full Methodist service, do you? Why, he was a Methodist.
Can we wait until I get back?
Well, then you could join in the services.
Right, fine, yes.
Oh, Martha will love the services, especially the hymns. Oh, remember, Martha, how beautifully he sang in the choir before his voice changed.
Anyways, you're not going to let anyone in this house. Remember, it's a promise.
Well, I think we can go along with Mortimer now that he's cooperating with us. All right, dear.
Do you have any writing paper?
Oh, yes, I've got some stationery right over here, dear. Will this do?
That'll be fine. I can save time if I write my review on the way to the theater.
Well, you know, Mortimer didn't seem quite himself today.
It's only natural, I think. I know why. Why? Well, he's just gotten engaged to be married. I suppose that always makes a man nervous.
Well, I'm very happy for Elaine, and the honeymoon ought to give Mortimer a real vacation. I don't think he got any rest this summer.
At least he didn't go kiting off to China or Spain.
I never could understand why he wanted to go to those places.
Well, you know, I think that with Mortimer, the theater was always small potatoes. He wanted something big to criticize, like the human race.
Oh, Abby, if Mortimer's coming back for the services, we'll need another hymnal.
Yes.
Oh, there's one in my room.
Oh, now you remember, dear, it is my turn to read the services. But since you weren't here when Mr. Hoskins came, I want you to do it.
Oh, that's so nice of you, dear. Are you sure you want me to?
Oh, it's only fair, dear.
Oh, well then. Oh, I think I'll wear my black bombazine. Oh, and Mother's old brooch.
Oh, you look lovely, dear. You'll be so beautiful.
A lovely hat.
Oh, dear, I'll go.
No, well, we promised Mortimer we wouldn't let anyone in.
Well, who do you suppose it could be?
Oh, wait a minute, I'll look. Oh, it's two men I've never seen them before.
You sure?
Well, there's a car at the curb. They must be coming back.
Oh, let me look.
Oh, do you recognize them?
Oh, no, they're both strangers to me.
Just have to pretend we're not at home.
Coming, Doctor. The home of my youth. As a boy, I could not wait to escape this place. Now I can't wait to escape back into it.
Johnny, it's a fine hideout.
Yes, the family must still live here. There's something so unmistakably Brewster about the Brewsters. I hope there's a fatted calf awaiting the return of the prodigal.
Look, Johnny, drinks.
As though we would expect it. A good omen.
Who are you and what do you want?
Aunt Abby! Aunt Martha! It's me, Jonathan.
Oh, you get out of here.
But I'm Jonathan, your nephew.
Well, you're not Jonathan. You're not anything like Jonathan, so don't pretend that you are. Now get out of here.
But I am Jonathan, and this is Dr. Einstein.
He's not Dr. Einstein either.
Not Dr. Albert Einstein. Dr. Herman Einstein.
Who are you? You are not our nephew, Jonathan.
Aunt Martha, still wearing that lovely ruby ring that Grandma Brewster bought in England. And Aunt Abby, still the high collar to hide where grandfather's acid burned you.
Oh, his voice is like Jonathan's.
Have you been in an accident?
No, my face. Dr. Einstein is responsible for that. He's a plastic surgeon. He changes people's faces.
I've seen that to the movies, and I was so frightened. It was that crazy.
Easy. Don't worry, ladies. These past 5 years, I'd give Johnny 3 new faces. This last face, well, I saw that picture too, just before I operated, and I was intoxicated.
You see what you've done to me, Doctor? Even my own family.
Johnny, you're home in this lovely house. Now, many times you would tell me about Brooklyn, about this house, about his aunts that he loves so much. They know it, you, Johnny. You know it's Johnny. Speak to him. Tell him so.
Well, Jonathan, it's been a long time. I mean, where have you been for all these years?
Yes, Jonathan, where have you been?
Oh, South Africa, Australia, Amsterdam. The last 5 years in Chicago. Dr. Einstein and I were in business there together.
Oh, well, we went to Chicago for the World's Fair.
Yes, we found Chicago awfully warm.
Yeah, it's got too hot for us, too.
Well, Brooklyn, it's great to be back. And Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, you two don't look a day older than when I last saw you. Still so sweet, charming, hospitable. And whatever became of dear little Teddy? Did he ever get into politics? My dear little brother, Doctor, was determined to be president.
Well, Teddy's fine. He's just fine. And Mortimer as well, too.
I know all about Mortimer. I've seen his picture at the head of his column. He's evidently fulfilled all the promise of his early nasty nature.
We're very fond of Mortimer.
Well, Jonathan, it's been very nice to have seen you again.
God bless you, Aunt Martha. It's good to be home again.
Martha, I think maybe we had better run into the kitchen and make sure that what's on the stove doesn't boil over.
Yes, if you'll excuse us for a minute, Jonathan. Unless you're in a hurry to go somewhere.
Where do we go from here, Johnny? We gotta think fast. The cops have pictures of that face. I gotta operate on you right away. We gotta find a place for that. We gotta find a place for Mr. Spinozzo, too.
Don't waste any worry on that rat.
Johnny, we got a hot stiff on our hands.
I said forget about Spinozzo.
But Johnny, you can't keep a dead body in a rumple seat. You shouldn't have killed him. He was a nice fella. He gives us a lift, and what happens?
He said I look like Boris Karloff. That's your work, Doctor. You did that to me.
Find a place. I fix you up quick.
Tonight.
Johnny, I got to eat first. I'm hungry. I'm weak. So weak.
Jonathan, we've come in to tell you that we're very happy that you came to see us and happy that you remembered us and stopped in to say hello. But you were never happy in this house, and we were never happy with you in it. So we've come to say goodbye. Yes, goodbye.
My dear Aunt Abby, I've spent a great many years regretting the many heartaches I have no doubt given you.
Yes, you were quite a trial to us, John.
But my greatest regret is for Dr. Einstein. I promised him that no matter how hurried we were in passing through Brooklyn, that we would take the time out for one of Aunt Martha's home-cooked dinners.
Well, I'm afraid we couldn't do that. Well, it's a pretty good-sized
Pot roast!
Well,
then, we'll stay to dinner.
Martha, I think you'd better go get things started. Jonathan, if you need to freshen up, you could go up and use the washroom in Grandfather Brewster's old laboratory.
Is that still there?
Yes, just as he left it. Now I'm going to the kitchen and, Martha, hurry things along.
Well, I get a meal anyway.
Grandfather's old laboratory. And just as he left it, Doctor, the perfect operating room.
Yeah, too bad we can't use it.
And when we're done with me, why, we could make a fortune here, that large ward in the attic. 10 beds, Doctor. And Brooklyn is crying for your talents.
Why, work yourself up, John. Besides, for Brooklyn, I seem for a year too late.
You don't know this town like I do, Doctor. Practically everybody in Brooklyn needs a new face.
Yeah, but all the old faces are all locked up.
A very small percentage. And the boys in Brooklyn are famous for paying generously to stay out of jail.
Take it easy, John. Your aunts, they don't want us here.
We're here for dinner, aren't we?
Yeah, but after dinner?
Leave that to me. I'll handle it. Why, this place will be our headquarters for years.
Oh, that would be beautiful. This nice, quiet house. Your aunts. Oh, what sweet ladies. I love him already. I'll go get the bags, yeah?
Doctor, we must wait until we're invited.
But you just said...
We'll be inviting.
And if they say no?
Doctor, 2 helpless old ladies.
It's like it comes true, a beautiful dream. Only I hope you're not dreaming. This nice, quiet house. It's so peaceful.
That's what makes this house so perfect for us. It's so peaceful. Yes, my dear aunts, those past 5 years in Chicago were among the busiest and happiest of my life.
Yeah, from Chicago we go to South Bend, Indiana.
They would be interested in our experiences in Indiana.
Well, I'm sure that you led a very interesting life, Jonathan. And now, it's getting awfully late, and we should never have allowed you to talk so long.
My meeting of Dr. Einstein in London, I might say, changed the whole course of my life. You remember I was in South Africa in the diamond business, and from there I went to Amsterdam to be in the diamond market. I wanted to go back to South Africa. Dr. Einstein made that possible for me.
Yeah, Johnny, a good job. Why, when we took off the bandages, the nurse had to reintroduce me.
I love that face. Still carry a picture of it with me.
Oh, yes. Yes, this does look more like you used to look, but still, I wouldn't know you.
I think we shall go back to that face, Doctor.
Yeah, it's safe now.
Well, I know that you both need to go wherever you're going.
My dear Aunt, I'm so full of that delicious dinner, I can't hardly move a muscle.
Yeah, it's nice here.
After all, it's very late and,
I found it! I found it!
What did you find, Teddy?
My life story. My biography. Here it is, General. The picture I was telling you about. There we both are at caliber cut. That's me, General, and that's you.
My, how I've changed.
You see, that picture hasn't been taken yet. We haven't even started work on caliber cut. We're still working on the new lock. Now, General, if you will join me, we will have an inspection of the new lock.
No, Teddy, not to Panama.
Yeah, Panama, it's a long way off.
Nonsense. It's only down in the cellar.
The cellar.
yes, we let him dig the Panama Canal in the cellar.
Now then, General, as Commander-in-Chief, President of the United States, and the man who gave you this job, I demand you join me on an inspection of the new lock.
Teddy, I think it's time you went to bed.
I beg your pardon. Who are you?
I'm Woodrow Wilson. Now go to bed.
No, you're not Wilson. However, the face is familiar to me. You know what I know now. Perhaps someone I meet in the future. Huh? That's it. You look like someone I would meet on my hunting trip to Africa.
It's your brother, Jonathan, dear.
He's had his face changed.
So that's it. A nature faker.
Oh, Teddy, perhaps you should go to bed now. Jonathan and his friend have to go back to their hotel.
General Goethals, inspect the canal.
Oh, Well, Mr. President, we go to Panama.
Well then, if you'll join me, General. It's down south, you know.
Well, bon voyage.
My dear Aunt Abby, I must correct an earlier misapprehension of yours. You spoke of our hotel. We have no hotel. We came directly here.
Oh, but there's a very nice little hotel just 3 blocks down.
Aunt Martha, this is my home.
Well, Jonathan, you can't stay here because we need our rooms
You need them?
for our lodgers.
There are lodgers in this house.
Well, not just now, but
Well then,
we'd
my
like to
own
have some.
room is still free.
But there's no room for Dr. Einstein.
You share the room with me.
No, Jonathan. I'm afraid you cannot stay in this house.
Dr. Einstein and I need a place to sleep. You remembered earlier this afternoon, Aunt Abby, that as a boy I could be very disagreeable. It wouldn't be very pleasant for any of us if...
Well, perhaps we'd better let him stay here tonight.
Well, just for tonight.
That's settled. Please get my room ready.
Well, it only needs airing out.
Yes, we keep the rooms ready to show our lodgers. I'm sure you and Dr. Einstein will find it very comfortable.
You have a very distinguished guest in Dr. Einstein. You don't appreciate his skill yet, but you will. In the coming weeks, you'll see me looking like a very different Jonathan.
Oh, but it can't operate on you here.
Yes, when Dr. Einstein and I get going, when we resume practice, with turning Grandfather's old laboratory into an operating room, I might have forgotten to mention that. We expect to be quite busy.
No, Jonathan, you cannot turn this house into a hospital.
A hospital? Heavens no, it'll be a beauty parlor.
Johnny, down in the cellar.
Dr. Einstein, my dear aunts have invited us to stay.
Oh, you fixed it, huh?
Well, you're sleeping here tonight.
Please, get my room ready immediately.
For tonight.
Johnny, when I go down in the cellar, what do you think I find?
What?
The Panama Canal.
The Panama Canal.
Yeah, it just fits Mr. Spinozzo. It's a hole Teddy dug, 6 feet long and 4 feet wide.
Down there.
You'd think they knew we were bringing Mr. Spinozzo along. Now that's hospitality.
Rather a good joke on my aunts, don't you think? They're living in a house with a body buried in the cellar.
How do we get him in?
Yes. We can't very well bring him in through the front door. We'll drive the car up around the house in between the back and the cemetery. Then, after everyone goes to bed, we bring Spinozzo in through the window.
Just think, a bed. We get to sleep in the bed tonight.
Doctor, remember, you're operating tomorrow. And this time, you better be sober.
I think you're beautiful, Johnny.
And if you don't...
No, I'll bring your cheeks a little bit high and give you that cleft chin, just like Cary Grant.
Jonathan, your room is ready.
Well then, now, you two can run along to bed. We're going to move the car around back.
Oh, it's all right where it is until morning.
I wouldn't want to leave it in the street. That might be against the law.
Abby, what are we going to do? Well, for one thing, we're not going to let them stay in this house more than one night. I mean, what would the neighbors think? People walking in with one face and going out with another one.
But what are we going to do about Mr. Hoskins?
Oh, yes, Mr. Hoskins. Can't be very comfortable for him in there. He's been so patient, the poor dear. Well, I think that we'll have Teddy taken downstairs right away.
Well, I'm not going to invite Jonathan to the funeral services.
Oh, no. After, we'll get them to go to bed right away, and then we'll come down and hold the services. Yes.
General Goggles was very pleased. He says the canal is just the right size.
Teddy, there's been another yellow fever victim.
Dear me. This will be a shock to the general.
Oh, then
we mustn't tell him.
Nah, it's his department.
Oh, we mustn't tell him, dear. It would just spoil his visit.
Aunt Abby, it's out of my hands. He must be told. Army regulations, you know.
But it must be a secret.
Yes.
A state secret?
Yes, a state secret. Promise.
You have the word of the President of the United States. Cross my heart and hope to die. How will we keep it a secret?
Well, dear, I want you to hurry back down in the cellar. Then when it's dark, and I turn out the lights, I want you to come up and take the man down to the canal. Now, hurry along.
Oh, and we'll come down later and hold services.
Yes, well, you may announce the President will have a few words. Where is the poor devil?
Oh, he's in the window seat.
Dear me, seems to be spreading. We've never had yellow fever there before.
Now, Harvey, when Dr. Einstein gets back, we'll try to get them to go to bed right away.
Oh, yes. And by the time they're asleep, we'll be dressed for the funeral. Abby, I've never even seen Mr. Hoskins.
Oh, my dear. Oh, my goodness, that's right. You were gone. Yes. Well, you come over and see him now. You know, he's really very nice looking, considering he's a Methodist.
We're bringing the luggage in through here.
Your room's ready, Jonathan. You can go right on up.
I'm afraid we don't keep Brooklyn hours, but you two run along to bed.
Oh, well, I know you're both very tired, and we don't go to bed this early.
Well, you should. It's time I came home and started taking care of you two.
But we weren't planning to go until...
Aunt Martha, didn't you hear me say go to bed? Doctor, the instruments can go up in the morning. Just leave them right around there somewhere. Run along, Aunt Martha. Now then, we're all off to bed.
Yes, well, you go on up, and I'll turn out the lights.
Just another flight, Doctor. To bed, Aunt Martha. All right, Aunt Abby, turn out the lights.
I'll be right up.
Now, Aunt Abby. Good night. Aunt Abby! I'll run over to the window. You go out to the car and hand Spinozzo through.
No, Johnny. He's too heavy for me. You go outside and push. I'll stay here and pull. And together, we're taking down the Panama.
All right. I'll go around front and take a look out. You go over to the window. When I tap on the window, you open it up.
All right.
Here we go. Wait. Oh! I'm sorry, Johnny, I slipped. Be more careful. Watch the shoes, sir. All right. Okay, I got him. Johnny, there's someone at the door. No, go quick. I'll get it. No, you go quick.
Miss Abby? Miss Martha? Miss Abby? Miss Martha? Who is it? Is that you, Teddy? Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Elaine Harper. I live next door.
Then what are you doing here?
I came over to see Miss Abby and Miss Martha.
Doctor, please turn on the lights. You chose rather an untimely moment for a social call.
I think you'd better explain what you're doing here.
We happen to live here.
You don't live here. I'm in this house every day and I've never seen you. Now where are Miss Abby and Miss Martha? What have you done to them?
Perhaps we should introduce ourselves. This is Dr. Einstein,
Dr. Einstein?
a surgeon of great distinction and something of a magician.
I suppose you're going to tell me your Boris Karloff.
I'm Jonathan Brewster.
Oh, you're Jonathan.
I could see you've heard of me.
Just this afternoon for the first time.
And what did they say about me?
Just that there was another brother named Jonathan. Well, that explains everything. Now that I know who you are, I'll be running along. If you'll kindly unlock the door.
That explains everything? Just what do you mean by that? Why did you come here at this time of night?
I thought I saw someone roaming around the house to the car. I suppose it was you.
You thought you saw someone roaming around the house?
Yes. Weren't you outside? Isn't that your car?
You saw someone at the car?
Yes.
What else did you see?
Just someone walking around the house to the car.
What else did you see?
Just that, that's all. That's why I came over here. You see, I was going to tell Miss Abby to call the police, but if it was you and not your car, I don't need to bother Miss Abby. I'll be running along.
What was the man doing at the car?
I don't know. You see, I was on my way over here.
I think you're lying.
I think she tells the truth, Johnny. We let her go now, huh?
I think she's lying. Look at her. Sneaking into a strange house in the middle of the night. I don't think we could let her around loose. I don't think she can be trusted.
Take your hand off me.
Doctor.
It's going to be a private funeral.
Teddy, tell these men who I am.
Well, that's my daughter, Alice.
No, Teddy.
Doctor, your handkerchief. The cellar!
What's the matter?
It's all right. We've got a burglar, a sneak thief. You two run along to bed.
Oh, well, we'll call the police.
No, we called the police. We'll handle this. You two run along to bed. You hear me?
Mortimer, where have you been?
I've been to the UpStage Theatre. I should have known better. Oh my God, I'm still there.
This is your brother Jonathan, and this is Dr. Einstein.
I know this isn't a nightmare, but what is it?
Well,
I've come home, Mortimer.
your brother Jonathan had his face changed. Dr. Einstein performed the operation.
Jonathan? You always were a horror, but you have to look like one.
Easy, Johnny, easy.
Have you forgotten, Mortimer, the things I used to do to you when we were boys? Do you remember the time I tied you up to the bedpost? The needles under your fingernails?
Yes, I do remember you. I remember you as the most vicious, vile, venomous form of animal life I ever knew.
Now, you two boys, don't you start quarreling again the minute you see each other.
There won't be any fight, Aunt Abby. Jonathan, You're not wanted here. Get out.
But Dr. Einstein and I have been invited to stay.
Not in this house.
Well, just for tonight.
I don't want him anywhere near me.
Well, we did invite them to stay, dear. And it wouldn't be nice for us to go back on our word.
All right. Tonight. But first thing in the morning, you're out. Now, where are they sleeping?
Well, we gave them Jonathan's old room.
That's my old room. I'm sleeping in there. I'm here to stay.
Oh, Mortimer, I am so glad.
Johnny, we'll sleep down here, eh?
Bet your life you sleep down here.
You sleep on the couch, and I'll sleep on the window seat.
No, wait! Let's not argue about this. I'll sleep on the window seat. The window seat is good enough for me for tonight.
Oh, Johnny, now all this argument, it makes me think of Mr. Spinalzo.
Spinalzo! Mortimer, there's no need to inconvenience you, really. We'll sleep down here. You can take the room.
Jonathan, your sudden consideration for me is very unconvincing.
Come along, Johnny. We'll go upstairs and get our things, eh?
Spinalzo, all this talk of Spinalzo, Doctor, has reminded me, whatever did become
Who
of
is
it?
this Mr. Spinalzo?
Oh, just a friend Johnny's been looking for.
I don't want anyone else in this house.
I'll tell you all about it while we pack our things, Johnny.
Now, Mortimer, there is no need for you to sleep downstairs, dear. I can go in with your Aunt Martha and you can take my room.
Thou answer. Abby, there really is no need to inconvenience you. We'll be back in a few minutes. Then you can have the room, Mortimer.
Jonathan, you're wasting your time. I told you, I'm sleeping down here.
Mortimer,
What's the matter with you?
I've almost been killed.
You've almost been killed? Abby! Martha!
He mistook her for a sneak thief.
No, it was more than that. He's some kind of maniac. Mortimer, I'm afraid of...
You're trembling. Have you got any smelling salts?
No, but do you think some hot tea or coffee?
Coffee. And make some for me, too. And sandwiches. I haven't had any dinner.
Oh, we'll make something for both of you.
Martha, I think we can leave our hats down here for now.
Where are you going? Somewhere? Do you know that it's after 12? Oh, Elaine, you've got to go home. Go.
What?
Well, dear, we're going to make sandwiches for both of you. It'll only take us a minute.
Why don't you remember we were going to celebrate your engagement? And that's what we'll do, dear. Make a nice supper for both of you, and we'll open a bottle of wine.
All right. No wine.
Mortimer, what's going on in this house?
What do you mean, what's going on in this house?
You were supposed to take me to dinner in the theater. You called it off. You asked me to marry you. I said I would. And 5 minutes later, you threw me out of the house. Just tonight, after your brother tries to kill me, you want to chase me home. Now listen, Mr. Brewster. Before I go home, I want to know where do I stand. Do you love me?
I love you very much, Elaine. I love you so much, in fact, that I can't marry you.
Have you suddenly gone crazy?
I don't think so, but it's just a matter of time now. You see, insanity runs in my family. It practically gallops. That's why I cannot marry you.
Now listen, you've got to do better than that.
No. There's a strange taint in the Brewster blood. If you really knew my family, it's what you'd expect if Strindberg had written Hell's a Poppin'.
Now just because Teddy is
No. It goes way back. The first Brewster. The one who came over on the Mayflower. You know, in those days, the Indians used to scalp the settlers. No, he used to scalp the Indians.
Mortimer, that's ancient history.
No, my whole family. Take my grandfather, for instance. He used to practice his patent medicines out on dead people to be sure he wouldn't kill them.
He wasn't so crazy. He made $1 million.
And then there's Jonathan. You just said, he's a maniac. He tried to kill you.
But he's your brother, not you. I'm in love with you.
And Teddy, too. You know Teddy. He thinks he's Roosevelt. No, dear. No Brewster should ever marry. And I realize now that if I had met my father in time, I would have stopped him too.
No, all this doesn't prove you're crazy. Just look at your aunt. They're Brewsters, aren't they? And the sanest, sweetest people I've ever known.
Well, even they have their peculiarities.
Yes, but what lovely peculiarities. Kindness, generosity, human sympathy.
There's another one!
Well, there's plenty of others. You can't tell me anything about your aunt.
No, I'm not going to. Look, Elaine, you've got to run along home. Something very important has just come up.
From where? We're here alone together.
I know I'm acting irrationally, but just put it down to the fact that I'm a mad rooster.
Now, if you think you're going to get out of this by pretending you're insane, you're crazy. You may not think you're going to marry me, but I'm going to marry you. I love you, dope.
If you love me, will you get the hell out of here?
Well, at least walk me home, won't you? I'm afraid.
Afraid? A little walk through the cemetery?
Mortimer, will you kiss me goodnight?
Of course, dear. Good night, dear.
You critic.
Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, come in here, please.
We'll be in a minute, dear.
Come in here now.
Yes, dear, what is it?
I thought that you promised me not to let anyone in this house know
Jonathan
what's wrong.
just
I don't
walked
mean
in.
Jonathan.
And Dr.
I
Einstein
don't
was
mean
with
Dr. Einstein. Who is this in the window seat?
Well, dear, we told you it's Mr. Hoskins.
This is not Mr. Hoskins.
What in the world could that be?
Are you trying to tell me that you've never seen that man before?
Well, I certainly am. Well, this is a fine how do you do. So anybody thinks they can walk into this house?
No, wait. Do not try to get out of this. That is another one of your gentlemen.
Why, Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? That man is an imposter. If he came here to be buried in our cellar, well, he's mistaken.
You admitted that you put Mr. Hoskins in that window seat.
Yes, I did.
Well, this man couldn't have just gotten the idea from Mr. Hoskins. By the way, where is Mr. Hoskins?
Oh, well, he must have gone to Panama.
So you buried him?
Oh, no, dear, not yet. He's waiting downstairs for the services, the poor dear. You know, we haven't had a minute with Jonathan in the house. Oh, always wanted to have a double funeral. But I will not read services over a total stranger.
Stranger? Oh, Aunt Abby, how can I believe you? There are 12 men buried in your cellar, and you admitted that you poisoned them.
Yes, I did. But you don't think I would stoop to telling a fib? Martha! Martha!
Oh, Mortimer, I'd like to have a word with you.
Well, a word is all you're going to have time for, Jonathan. I've decided that you and your doctor friend are to leave this house as quickly as possible.
Mortimer, I'm glad you realize that you and I cannot live under the same roof. But I'm afraid you've arrived at the wrong conclusion. Take your suitcase and get out.
Jonathan! You're beginning to bore me. You played your one-night stand in Brooklyn. Now move on.
My dear, dear Mortimer. Just because you've graduated from the back fence to the typewriter, don't think you've grown up. I'm staying and you're leaving, and I mean now.
If you think that I can be frightened, if you think that there's anything that I fear, then
Mortimer, I've led a strange life, and it's taught me one thing. To be afraid of nothing.
Martha, you just come in and see what's in that window seat.
No, I Jonathan, let Aunt the window seat. Abby, I owe you an apology. I do have good news for you, though. Jonathan is leaving us, and he's taking his doctor friend and their cold companion with him. Jonathan, you're my brother. You're a Brewster. Therefore, I'm going to give you a chance to get away and take the evidence with you. You cannot ask me for more than that. All right. I'll have to call the police.
Don't reach for that phone. Are you still giving me orders, even after seeing what happened to Mr. Spinalzo?
Spinalzo? I knew he was a foreigner.
Remember, what happened to Spinalzo can happen to you just as easily.
Oh, my goodness. The door. Don't. Oh, it's the middle of the night. This hour. Oh.
Hello, Miss Abby.
Oh, Mr. O'Hara. Oh. Well, what can we do for you?
Well, I saw the lights were on and thought there might be sickness in the house.
Oh.
Oh, you got company. Look, I'm sorry to disturb you.
No. Come in.
Yes, please. Do. Come on.
Come right in, Officer O'Hara. This is our nephew, Mortimer.
Oh, pleased to meet you.
And this is another nephew, Jonathan.
Oh, well, pleased to make your acquaintance there. Well, it must be nice having your nephews visiting with you. Will they be staying with you for a bit?
I'm staying. My brother Jonathan is just leaving.
Say, haven't you here before?
Oh, I'm afraid not. Jonathan hasn't been home for years.
Hey, your face looks awful familiar. Maybe I've seen a picture of you someplace.
I don't think so.
You'd better hurry along, Jonathan. Your things are already packed anyway, aren't they?
Well, you'll be one to be saying goodbye, so I'll be right.
Oh, wait. What's the rush? I'd like you to stick around until my brother goes.
No, I just thought I'd make sure everything is all right.
We're going to have coffee.
Oh,
Won't
yes.
you join us?
Oh, I forgot to put on the coffee.
Oh, and I'd better make some more sandwiches. I ought to know your appetite by now, Officer O'Hara.
No, don't bother. I'll do the ringing in a few
Oh,
minutes.
it's no bother.
You have time to have a bite with us? Here, come. Sit down. My brother will be leaving soon anyway. Sit.
Say, haven't I seen a picture of your brother around here someplace?
I don't think so.
His face looks awfully familiar.
He probably looks like somebody you've seen in the movies.
Nah, I don't go to the movies. I hate them. My mother says the movies is a bastard art.
They are full of them. Your mother said that?
Yeah, my mother was an actress, a stage actress. Perhaps you heard of her. Peaches Latour.
Sounds like a name I've seen on her program somewhere. What did she play?
Well, her big hit was Mother Jeff. Played it for 3 years. I was born on tour, the 3rd season.
You were?
Yeah, Sioux City, Iowa. I was born in the dressing room at the end of the 2nd act, and Mother made the finale.
What a trooper. Sounds like there's a good story in your mother somewhere. You know, I write about the theater.
Do? Say, you're not Mortimer Brewster, the dramatic critic.
Yes.
Well, I certainly am glad to meet you. Say, Mr. Brewster, you and I, we're in the same line of business.
We are.
Yeah, I'm a playwright. Oh, no, this police force thing, it's just temporary.
How long have you been on the force?
12 years. But I'm collecting material for a play.
Bet it's a honey.
Yeah, well, it ought to be. With all the things I be seeing as a cop, Mr. Brewster, you got no idea what goes on in Brooklyn.
I think I have.
Say, what time you got?
I think it's 10 after 1.
Oh, gee, I gotta be running along.
Wait! That play of yours, maybe I can help you with it.
You would? Say, it was fate my walking in here tonight, Mr. Brewster. Let me tell you the plot. All right, so it all starts in my mother's dressing room.
Wait. Are you on your way, Jonathan? You haven't got much time, you know.
Oh, are you leaving, Jonathan? Well, goodbye. Goodbye, Dr. Einstein. Oh, doesn't this case belong to you?
Yes, Jonathan. You must remember to take everything with you. O'Hara, it was nice meeting We'll get together real soon and we'll chat about your play.
Oh, no, Mr. Brewster, I'm not leaving now.
Why not?
Well, you just said you're going to help me with my play. You and me, we're going to write my play together.
No, I can't. I'm not a creative writer.
I'll do the creating, you just put it to words.
But O'Hara,
No, I'm not leaving this house till I tell you the plot.
Well, Mortimer, we'll be running along.
Wait! Don't you try that. You cannot leave yet. You've got to take everything with you. Look, O'Hara, you run along. My brother's just leaving, huh?
Yeah, I can wait. I've been like 12 years.
Oh, I'm sorry I was so long.
Oh, Martha. No, don't bring those in here. Officer O'Hara, would you join us for a bite in the kitchen?
The kitchen? Jonathan is leaving. Oh, that's nice. Oh. Well, come along, Officer O'Hara. Are you sure you don't mind eating in the kitchen?
And where else would you eat?
But it was nice seeing you again, Jonathan.
Look, Jonathan, I'm glad that you came back to Brooklyn, because it gives me this chance to throw you out. And the first one gone will be your boyfriend, Mr. Spinalzo.
Hey, Mr. Brewster, we can talk in here.
I'll be in a minute. Go. Just go.
I might have known you'd wind up writing a play with a policeman, Mortimer.
Just get out of here, all three of you.
Doctor, this affair with my brother has got to be settled.
Johnny, your brother, he gives us a chance to get away. What more could you ask?
You don't understand. This goes back a good many years.
But Johnny...
Doctor, you know, when I made up my mind.
Yeah, I know when you make up your mind, you lose your head. Johnny, Brooklyn ain't a good place for you.
Doctor!
Johnny! All right, we stick together. Someday we'll get stuck together. Well, if we're going to leave, do we have to bring these with us?
No, you can put those down in the cellar. We can take Spinalzo down and dump him in the bed. Then we can come back up here. Quickly!
Johnny, down in the cellar.
What?
Remember that hole down there?
Yes.
Well, we got an ace in the hole. Come quick, I'll show you.
Jonathan! Jonathan!
Yes, Mortimer?
Where have you two been? I thought I told you to get out of this house.
We're not going.
You're not, are you? Do you think I'm not serious about this? Do you want O'Hara to know what's in that window seat?
We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, all right. You asked for it. This way I can get rid of you and Officer O'Hara at the same time. O'Hara, come in here.
Mortimer, if you tell O'Hara what's in the window seats, I'll have to tell him what's down in the cellar.
The cellar?
Yes, there's an elderly gentleman down there. He seems to be very dead.
What were you doing down in the cellar?
What's he doing down in the cellar?
Now, Mortimer, what are you going to tell O'Hara?
Hey, Mr. Brewster, your aunts want to hear the plot, too. Shall I get him in here?
No, wait. You can't do that now. You've got to go ring in.
And the hell was ringing in. I'm going to get your aunts and tell you the plot.
No. Not in front of all these people. We'll get together alone, someplace later.
How about the back room at Kelly's?
Fine. You go ring in, and I'll meet you at Kelly's.
Why not use the cellar?
Sounds all right to me. Is this where...
No. We'll meet at Kelly's, but you're going to ring in on the way.
All right, it'll take a couple of minutes.
Fine. going to ditch this guy, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. I will expect to find you both gone. No. Wait for me.
Oh, we'll wait for him, Doctor.
We got him right where he wanted. Boy, he looked guilty.
Take the luggage back up to our room.
Are they going? Oh, we thought we heard someone leave.
That was Mortimer, but he'll be back in a little bit. Why don't you get us something to eat? Dr. Einstein and I are awfully hungry.
Well, you won't have time.
No, if you're not out of here by the time Mortimer gets back, he won't like it.
Oh, he'll like it. He's got to like it.
Yes, why don't you find us some sandwiches or something? While Dr. Einstein and I are going to be awfully hungry burying Mr. Spinoza.
Oh, no, you can't put him in our cellar. No.
There's a friend of Mortimer's downstairs waiting for him.
A friend of Mortimer's?
Yes, the two should get along very well. They're both dead.
They must be Mr. Hoskins.
Mr. Hoskins?
You know about what's downstairs?
Well, of course we do. He's no friend of Mortimer's. He's one of our gentlemen.
One of your gentlemen?
Yes, and we won't have any strangers buried in our cellar.
But Mr. Hoskins.
Oh, Mr. Hoskins isn't a stranger.
And besides, there's no room for your fellow down there, because it's crowded already.
Crowded? What?
Well, there are 12 graves down there now.
12 graves?
Well, so you see, there's very little room left, and what there is, we're going to need it.
You and Aunt Martha have murdered all those men.
Murdered? Why, I should say not. I mean, this is one of our charities.
Why, what we've been doing is a mercy.
So you're going to have to take your fellow and leave.
Oh, you've done all that here in this house and buried them down there?
John, we've been chased all over the world. Your aunts stay right here in Brooklyn. They're just as good as you are.
What?
You've got 12 and they got 12.
I've got 13.
No, Johnny, you got 12.
13. Count. There's Spinoza. There's the first one in London. There's the one in Melbourne. There's the two in Johannesburg. There's the one in Sydney. There's the two in San Francisco. The one in Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix?
The filling station. 3 in Chicago and 1 in South Bend, Indiana. That makes 13.
Oh, the one in South Bend, he died of pneumonia.
He wouldn't have got pneumonia if I hadn't shot him.
You don't count. He died of pneumonia, Johnny.
It counts with me, I say 13.
No, Johnny, you got 12, and they got 12. You're ladies. They're just as good as you are.
Oh, they are they? Well, that's easily settled, isn't it? All I need is one more. That's all, just one more.
Well, here I am.
Stop doing that. This is our house. This is our cellar. And you cannot do that. There's no use in doing what you're doing because I'm telling you.
Aunt Tabby, Aunt Martha,
No,
go upstairs.
Oh, won't have it now. Stop it right now. You'll find out. You'll find out whose house. I am warning you. You had better stop it. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Hasn't Mortimer come back yet? No. Oh, it's a terrible thing to do. To put a good Methodist in with a foreigner. It's a desperate thing to do. We promised Mr. Hoskins a full Christian funeral. Oh, where do you suppose Mortimer went?
Well, I don't know, but he must be doing something because he said to Jonathan, just you wait, I'll settle this.
Well, he can't settle anything if he's out of this house, and that's all we want settled is what's going on down there. Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
All right, where's Teddy?
Mortimer, where have you been?
I've just been to Dr. Gilchrist. I've got his signature on Teddy's commitment papers.
Mortimer, what is the matter with you? Running around getting papers signed at a time like this?
Do you know what Jonathan's doing?
He's putting Mr. Spinoza and Mr. Hoskins in together.
He is he? Well, Let me. Is Teddy in his room?
Come on,
Teddy won't be of any help.
Martha, we're going for the police.
If I can get his signature on these commitment papers, I can tackle Jonathan.
No, what do those papers have to do with anything?
You had to go and tell him about the 12 graves in the cellar. If I can make Teddy responsible for all of this, then I can protect you, don't you see?
No, I don't see. I mean, we pay taxes, so the police will protect us.
I'll be back down in a minute.
Come on, police, come on.
No, you cannot go for the police.
Why not?
Because if you tell the police about Mr. Spinozzo, they're going to find Mr. Hoskins too. And that might make them curious, and they'll find your other 12 gentlemen.
Now, Mortimer, I think that we know the police better than you do. And I don't think that they are going to pry into our private affairs if we ask them not to.
But if they find your 12 gentlemen, they'll have to report it to headquarters.
Well, I'm not so sure they'd bother. They'd have to make out a very long report. And if there's one thing a policeman hates to do, it's to write.
Right.
We cannot count on that, Aunt Martha. It might leak out. And besides, you can't expect a judge and jury to understand this.
Oh. Judge Coleman would.
Oh, and we know him very well.
Yes, he often comes to church to pray, just before election.
And he is coming to our house for tea someday. He promised.
Oh, yes, Abby, we must talk about that again. His wife died a few years ago, and it's left him very lonely.
Well, come on, Martha.
No! You cannot do this. I won't let you. You cannot leave this house, and you cannot have Judge Coleman to tea.
Well, if you don't do something about that Mr. Spinoza, then we will.
I am going to do something. I may have to call the police in later, but if I do, I want to be ready for them.
But you've got to get Jonathan out of the house.
And Mr. Spinoza, too.
Will you please let me do this my own way? I've got to see Teddy.
Well, Mortimer, if they're not out of the house by tomorrow morning, well, we'll call the police.
They'll be out. I promise. Now go to bed, both of you. For God's sake, get out of those clothes. You look like Judith Anderson.
Oh, well, that's a relief, Abby.
Well, yes. Mortimer's going to do something at last. Oh, you know, we'd better tell Jonathan that he's going to a lot of unnecessary trouble. Oh, Jonathan, you better stop what you're doing.
It's already done. Did I hear Mortimer's voice?
Well, it's just going to have to be undone, because all of you are going to be out of this house tomorrow morning. Mortimer promised.
Well then, you two can go to bed now, can't you, and have very pleasant dreams.
Yeah, come on.
Good night, aunties.
Well, it's not good night, Jonathan. It's goodbye. When we get up tomorrow morning, you're going to be out of this house because Mortimer promised.
And he has a way of doing it, too.
Then Mortimer's back.
Well, yes, he's up here talking to Teddy.
Goodbye, Jonathan.
Yes, goodbye, Jonathan.
Perhaps you should be saying goodbye to Mortimer.
Oh, well, you'll see Mortimer.
Oh yes, I'll see Mortimer.
Well, that's all fixed up. Smooth like a lake. Nobody ever knows how we're down there. That bed feels good already. 48 hours. We didn't sleep. Come on, John. We go up now, eh?
You're forgetting, Doctor.
What?
My brother, Mortimer.
No, John. We do that, not tonight. We do that tomorrow or the next day, eh?
No! Tonight! Now!
Oh, Johnny. But I'm tired. And tomorrow I gotta operate.
Yes, Doctor, you're operating tomorrow. But tonight we take care of Mortimer.
Oh, so, Johnny, you go to bed, yeah?
Look into my eyes, Doctor. You can see this is going to be done, can't you?
I can see. I know that look.
I think it's a little late to be dissolving our partnership.
Right. We get it over. The quick way. Like in London, the quick twist.
No, Doctor. I think this calls for something special. I think perhaps the Melbourne method.
Oh, no. Not that. Not that Melbourne. 12 hours. And when it was all over, what? The fellow in Melbourne was just as dead as the fellow in London.
Ah, we had to work too fast in London. There was no aesthetic satisfaction. But Melbourne, now there was something to remember.
Remember? I wish I didn't. No, Johnny. Not Melbourne. Not me.
Yes, Doctor, where are your instruments?
No, Johnny, I won't do it. No.
Yes, Doctor, get your instruments.
No.
Where are they? Oh, yes, you hid them in the cellar. Where?
I won't tell you.
I'll find them.
No. Oh,
No, don't do that, Mr. President.
I cannot sign any proclamation without consulting my cabinet.
But this must be a secret.
Secret proclamation? How unusual.
Japan mustn't know until it's signed.
Japan? Those yellow devils. I'll sign it right away. I can let the cabinet know later.
So let's go and sign it.
You wait here. A secret proclamation must be signed in secret, huh?
But at once, Mr.
Yes.
President.
I'll have to put on my signing clothes.
You go now, eh?
No, Doctor. I'm waiting for something. Something important.
No, you go now.
Look, Doctor, I have nothing against you personally. You seem to be a nice fellow. So take my advice and get out of this house as quickly as possible.
Trouble. You get out.
All right. Don't say I didn't warn you.
I'm warning you.
Things are going to start popping around here any minute.
Listen, Johnny, he's in a bad mood, and when he's like this, things happen. Horrible things.
Jonathan doesn't worry me anymore.
Hammer, don't those plays you about teach you anything?
About what?
Well, at least the people in the plays got more sense, more than you do.
You think so, do you? You think the people in these plays act intelligently? I wish you had to sit through some of the ones that I have to sit through. Take the little opus I saw tonight, for instance. There's this guy. He's supposed to be bright. He knows he's in a house with murderers. He ought to know he's in danger. He's even been warned to get out of the house. But does he go? No. Now, I ask you, Doctor, is that what an intelligent person would do?
You're asking me.
He doesn't even have sense enough to be frightened, to be on guard.
What does he do next?
For instance, the murderer invites him to sit down.
You mean, why don't you sit down?
Believe it or not, that one was in there too.
And then?
Then he sits down. This fellow, who's supposed to be bright, just sits there waiting to be trussed up and gagged. And what do you think they used to tie him with?
What?
The curtain cord.
Why not?
Yeah.
Very convenient.
A little too convenient. When will playwrights use a little imagination? The curtain cord.
And he didn't see him get it.
See him? He just sat there with his back to him the whole time. This is the kind of stuff I have to sit through night after night. Now, they say that critics are killing the theater. It's the playwrights who are killing the theater. So there he sits with his back to him, this fellow who's supposed to be bright, this big dope, just waiting to be trussed up and gagged.
Just waiting there. Yeah, you were right about that fellow. He wasn't very bright.
Now, Mortimer, let me finish the story. I've been away from home a long time, Mortimer. And in all that time, I haven't stopped thinking about you once. I dreamt of you one night in Melbourne. When I set foot in San Francisco, I felt a strange satisfaction to once again be on the same continent with you. Now then, Doctor, we're off to work.
Johnny, for me, the quick way.
Doctor, we're performing before a very distinguished critic. This must be a work of artistic achievement.
Johnny.
Doctor!
Redo it.
All right, Doctor.
I gotta have a drink first.
All ready for you.
Without a drink.
Pull yourself together, man.
Gotta have a drink first. There's someone around here. What is it? Drinks, Johnny. That's all there is. I'll share it with you. We both need a drink.
Doctor, where are your manners? Mortimer, I realize now that it was you that brought me back to Brooklyn. Doctor, to my dear dead brother.
That fool goes next. That's all there is to it. He goes next.
No, Johnny, not him. That's right. Stop.
All right, fine. We'll get to him later.
How about we not get to him at all?
Oh, now we have to work fast.
The quick way.
Yes, the quick way.
Hey, hey, hey. You girls gotta stop blowing that horn.
We're taking the bugle away from him, officer.
Yeah. Well, there's gonna be hell to pay in the morning. Promise the neighbors he's not doing that.
Dear Officer O'Hara, we promise it will not happen again.
Yeah, I better tell him myself. Where's the lights in this place? You! I've waited over an hour for you at Kelly's. What happened to him?
He was telling us about the fella he saw in the play tonight. This is what happened to the fella in the show.
Wait a second. They had this in the play you saw tonight? Oh, jeez. They practically stole that from the second act of my play. Why, in my second act, just before the, I better begin from the beginning. All right. It all starts in my mother's dressing room where I was born. Only, I ain't born yet. What'd you say? That's what I thought you said. No. I'm gonna tell you the plot. All right. So she's sitting there in makeup, see? When suddenly, into the door walks this man with a black mustache. He turns to my mother and he says, "Miss Latours, will you marry me?" Of course, he don't know she's pregnant. So there she is, lying unconscious across the table. The chick, he's standing over the headset like this. Me, I'm tied up in a chair just like you. The place, it's an inferno of flames. It's on fire. When suddenly, into the window comes Mayor LaGuardia. Hey, go easy on that. Remember who paid for it.
Well, I'm listening, can't I?
So what do you think about it so far?
Well, I put Johnny to sleep.
Hey, don't worry about him. If he ain't got no more interest than that, he don't get a drink. All right, so what was it? Oh, yeah. So I'm walking my beat, 46th Precinct, Staten Island, when turns out a guy I'm following, he's really following me. So I figures, I'll not smile. So, hey, don't everybody ain't no busy here. Hold on. So, I figures, it's the gas in the darkness. I see the door handle start to turn. I brace myself against the wall, grab my guns and says, "Come in." Hello, boys. Hey, what's going on here? Hey, Pat, what do you know? This is one of the Bruce. He's gonna write my play with me.
You have to tie him up to make him listen?
I better report it in the station, Joe. The whole force is out looking for you. Wait a minute. They said you were looking for me?
We didn't didn't know you was here.
No, we came to one of the old ladies that's held a fair. Colonel blew the bugle again in the middle of the night.
Yeah, from the way the neighbors have been calling in about it, you'd think the Germans dropped the bomb right on Flatbush Avenue.
Lieutenant's on the warpath. He says Colonel's got to be put away someplace.
Yes, yes.
Gee, Mr. Brewster, I gotta get along, but let's go to the third act.
You get away from me!
Say, you know what time it is? It's past 8 o'clock in the morning.
It is?
Yeah.
Gee, Mr. Brewster, I mean, those first 2 acts went long, but I don't see what we can leave out.
You can leave it all out.
Who the hell is this guy?
That's my brother.
Oh, the one who ran away? We came back, huh?
Yes, he came back.
Now, this is Brophy. Give me Mac. I better let him know we found you, Joe. Yeah, Mac, tell the lieutenant he can call off the big manhunt. We got him. Yeah, over in the Brewster house. You want us to bring him in? Oh. All right, we'll keep him right here. Lieutenant's on his way over.
So I've been turned in, eh? Well, you got me. No doubt you and that stew-pigeon brother of mine plan to split the reward.
What?
Since I've been turned in, maybe now it's my turn to do a little turning in. You think my aunts are such sweet, charming old ladies, don't you? Well, there are 13 bodies buried in their cellar.
What the hell are you talking
You
about?
better be careful what you say about your aunts. You happen to be friends of ours.
I'll show you.
Wait a minute.
13 bodies. I'll show you where they're buried.
Oh, yeah?
You don't want to see what's down there?
Maybe you better go down to that cellar with him, maybe.
I'm not so sure I want to be down in the cellar with that guy. That looks like Boris Karloff. What the heck?
What do you think you're doing?
What do you know about that?
Hey, come in.
What the hell are you men doing here? I told you I was going to handle this.
Lieutenant, we were just about to call you.
What happened to him? Did he put up a fight?
This ain't the fellow who blows the bugle. This is his brother. He tried to kill Klein.
Yeah. All I did was say he looks like Boris Karloff.
Turn him over.
Yeah, we kind of think he's wanted somewhere.
Oh, you kind of think he's wanted somewhere. If you guys don't look at the circulars we put at the station, at least you can read True Detective. Certainly he's wanted. In Indiana, he escaped from the prison of the criminal insane. He's a lifer. For God's sakes, that's how they described him. They said he looked like Karloff.
Was there a reward mention?
Yeah, and I'm claiming it.
Well, he was trying to get us down in the cellar.
Yeah, he says there's 13 bodies buried down there.
13 bucks? And that didn't tip you off this guy came out of a nut house?
Yeah, well, I thought he was talking kind of crazy all along.
Oh, it's Shakespeare. Then where you been all night?
I've been here all night, sir, writing my play with Mortimer Brewster.
Yeah? Well, you're going to have plenty of time to write that play. Because you're suspended! Now get back and report in!
Yo, Lieutenant, you think maybe I could stop by the freak?
No! Get out of here! Take that guy somewhere and bring him to. See what you can find out about his cops. Look on the guy to help him escape, he's wanted too. No wonder Brooklyn's in a shaking sin with a police force full of flatheads like you falling for that story. 13 bodies in the cellar. Well, there are 13 bodies in the cellar. Who are you? I'm President Roosevelt. What the hell is this?
He's the fellow that blows the bugle.
Good morning, Colonel. Is this another yellow fever victim? All the bodies in the cellar are yellow fever victims.
No, Colonel, this is a spy we caught in the White House.
Well, get that guy out of here. If there's any questioning of spies, it's my department. You stay out of it. Now, you're forgetting that as President of the United States, I am also head of the Secret Service.
Captain, I'm Mortimer Brewster.
Are you sure?
I'd like to talk to you about my brother Teddy, the one who blows the bugle.
Mr. Brewster, we ain't going to talk about that. He's got to be put away.
Oh, I quite agree with you. In fact, it's all been arranged for. I've got his commitment papers signed by Dr. Gilchrist, our family physician, and Teddy has signed them, and I've signed them as next of kin.
Where's he going?
Happydale.
All right, I don't care where he goes, just as long as he goes.
Oh, he's going, all right. But I want you to know one thing. Everything that's happened in this house, Teddy is responsible for. Now, About the 13 bodies in the cellar. That's a little more
Yeah,
complicated.
13 bodies in the cellar. Look, Mr. Brewster, it ain't enough that the neighbors are all scared of him, and he's blowing the bugle and disturbing the peace. But can you imagine what would happen if that cockeyed story about 13 bodies in the cellar got around? And now he's starting to yell fever scared. Cute, ain't it?
13 bodies in a cellar. Who'd believe a story like that one?
Well, you don't know. Some people are just dumb enough. You don't know what to believe sometimes. About a year ago, a crazy guy starts a murder rumor over in Greenpoint. I had to dig up half an acre lot just to prove that his mom was nobody.
Will you excuse me, please?
Good morning, Mortimer.
Good morning, dear.
This is Mr. Witherspoon. He's come to meet Teddy.
To meet Teddy?
Mr. Witherspoon's the superintendent of Happydale.
Oh, come in, come in. This is Captain,
Lieutenant Roney. I'm glad you're here, Super, because you're taking him back with you today.
Today? I didn't know that.
And not today.
Listen, Lane. I've got a lot of business to attend to, so you run along home and I'll call you up.
Nuts!
I had no idea it was this immediate.
The papers are all signed. He's going today.
Complete insubordination. Your men will find out I know mollycoddle. When the President of the United States is treated like this, what is this country coming to?
There's your man, Super.
No, wait! I have some very good news for you, Mr. President. Your term of office is over.
Is this March the 4th?
Practically.
Let's see. Oh! Now I go on my hunting trip to Africa. I'll get ready right away. Is he trying to move in before I move out?
Who, Teddy?
Taft.
This isn't Mr. Taft, Teddy. This is Mr. Witherspoon. He's the He's to be your guide while you're in Africa.
Bully! Just bully? I'll get my equipment right away. If the safari comes, tell him to wait. Huh? Goodbye, Aunt Abby. There we are, and goodbye, Aunt Martha. I'm on my way to Africa.
Good morning, darlings. Good morning.
Oh, we have visitors?
Yes, this is Lieutenant Rooney.
Oh, Lieutenant! How do you do? My, you don't look like the bus budget all the policemen say you are.
Aunt Abby, the lieutenant is here because Teddy blew his bugle again last night.
Always. We're going to speak to Teddy about that.
It's a little more serious than that, Miss Brewster.
And you haven't yet met Mr. Witherspoon. He's the superintendent of Happydale.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Witherspoon? You've come to meet Teddy.
Yes, he's come to take you.
Aunties, the police want Teddy to go there today.
Oh, no, not while we're alive.
I'm sorry, Miss Brewster, the papers are all signed, and he's going along with the superintendent.
Oh, well, we won't permit it. No. We'll take the bugle away from him. We promise. We won't be separated from Teddy.
I'm sorry, ladies, but the law's the law. He's committed himself, and he's going.
Well, if he goes, we're going too. Yes, you'll have to take us with him.
Well, why not?
Well, it's sweet of him to want to, but it's quite impossible. You see, we can't take sane people at Happydale.
Oh, Mr. Witherspoon, if you let us live there with Teddy, we'll put Happydale in our will, and for a very generous amount.
Well, the Lord knows we could use the money. But you see now,
Now let's be sensible about this, ladies. For instance, here I am wasting my morning when I've got serious work to do. You know there are still murders to be solved in Brooklyn.
Yes. Oh, are there?
Look, it ain't so much as bugle blowing, and the neighbors all scared of him. The things just get worse. Sooner or later, we'll be put to the trouble of digging up your cellar.
Our cellar?
Yeah, your nephew's been telling around the 13 bodies buried in the cellar.
But there are 13 bodies buried in our cellar. Yes, and if you think that's why Teddy has to go away, you come down to the cellar
cellar without somewhere proving.
Now, there's one of them down there, Mr. Spinoza, who doesn't belong, and he has to leave. But all the rest of those gentlemen are ours.
Aunties, I don't think the lieutenant here is interested in what's down in our cellar. He was just telling me that only last year he had to dig up a whole half-acre lot. Weren't you, Lieutenant?
That's right.
Oh, well, you wouldn't have to dig here, dear. You see, all of our graves are marked, and we put flowers on them every Sunday.
Superintendent, are you sure you can't find room for these ladies?
Well, if you would just come with us, Lieutenant, we would show you where the graves are.
I'll take your word for it, lady. I'm a busy man. How about it, Super?
Well, they'd have to be committed.
Well, Teddy committed himself. Can't they commit themselves? Can't they sign the papers?
Graves, flowers, why, certainly.
Oh, why, if we can live with Teddy, we'll sign the papers.
Where are they? Yes, where are they?
He's coming around, Lieutenant.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Clyde.
Good morning, Mr. Clyde.
Yeah. Brophy and me have your other nephew out in the kitchen.
Oh, how nice.
Well, sign them up, Superintendent. I want to get this all cleared up. 13 bodies in the cellar.
I am so glad that we're going, Martha. I mean,
If you'll
this
sign
neighborhood
right
has
here.
changed so. Oh, dear. Oh, this is so exciting.
You sign right here, Aunt Abby.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, and just think of front lawn again.
Oh, yes. Oh, wonderful.
Oh, we're overlooking something.
What?
Well, we're going to need the signature of a doctor.
Oh. Ah, wait! Dr. Einstein. Come right over here. We've got papers for you to sign.
Really, I must...
Doctor. Right over here. I thought the doctor here was going to operate on me last night. Come, sit right here. Sign.
Were you leaving, Doctor?
I really must be going.
Oh, aren't you going to wait for Jonathan?
I don't think we're going to the same place.
Elaine, I'm really glad you're here. Stick around, huh?
Don't worry. I'm going to.
Hey, Mac? Yeah, Ronnie. There's a description of, we got, well, the guy that we wanted in Indiana, we got it. Now, there's a description of his accomplice. It's on my desk there. Could you read it to me? Yeah. About 32. Brown eyes, 200 pounds, about 5'11". Talks with a foreign accent. Poses as a doctor? Yeah, I got it, Mac. Thanks.
It's all right, Lieutenant. The doctor here has just completed the signature.
Thanks, Doc. You're doing Brooklyn a service.
Mr. Brewster, you sign now as next of kin. That's fine.
That makes everything complete?
Oh, yes.
Everything legal?
Oh, yes.
Well, aunties, I guess now you're safe.
Well, when do you think you'll be ready to start?
Mr. Witherspoon, why don't you go upstairs and tell Teddy what he can take along?
Upstairs?
Yes.
I'll show you.
No, will you stay? We need to talk to you, dear. Just up the stairs and the first door on your left.
Oh, well, Mortimer, now that we're moving, this house is really yours.
Yes, we want you to live here now.
No, dears. I couldn't. This place is too full of memories.
Oh, but you and Elaine will need a home when you get married.
Well, darlings, I'm afraid that's very indefinite.
It's nothing of the kind. We're going to be married right away.
Mortimer, there's something that we're very worried about.
You're going to love it at Happydale.
Oh, yes, dear, we're very happy about the whole thing. That's just it. We don't want anything to go wrong.
Will they investigate those signatures?
Don't worry. They're not going to look up Dr. Einstein.
Well, it's not his signature, dear.
No.
It's yours.
You signed as next of kin.
Of course. Why not?
Well, dear, It's not something we ever wanted to tell you, but now you're a man, and it's something Elaine should know, too. Oh. Well, dear, you're not really a Brewster.
You see, come here, dear, come sit down.
Your mother came to us as a cook, and 3 months later, you were born. And she was such a sweet person, such a good cook, that we didn't want to lose her. So brother married her.
I'm not really a Brewster.
No, don't be too upset.
Elaine, this doesn't make a difference to you.
Elaine, did you hear? Do you understand? I'm a bastard!
I better see about breakfast.
Mortimer's coming over to my house. Father's gone to Philadelphia, and Mortimer and I are going to have breakfast together.
I need coffee. I've had quite a night.
Well, in that case, I would think you'd want to be getting to bed.
I do.
Oh, dear.
Witherspoon, take these with you, huh?
We won't need a wagon. My car's out front.
Oh, are you feeling now, Jonathan?
Yeah, there's some people in Indiana who want to take care of him for the rest of his life. Come on.
Oh, Jonathan, I'm so happy that you had someplace to go. We're leaving, too. Yes, we're going to Happydale.
Then this house is seeing the last of the Brewsters.
Oh, no, not unless Mortimer wants to live here.
I have a suggestion to make. Why don't you turn the property over to the church?
Oh, well, we never thought of that. That's a good idea.
Yes.
After all, it should be part of the cemetery.
Come on, get going.
Well, I can't better my record anymore, but neither can you. At least I have that satisfaction. The score stands even. 12-12.
Jonathan always was a mean little boy. He never would stand to see anyone get ahead of him.
Oh, I just wish there were some way we could show him he's not so smart. Oh, Mr. Witherspoon, does your family live with you at Happydale?
I have no family.
I suppose you consider the people at Happydale your family.
I'm afraid you don't quite understand. As the head of this institution, I have to remain quite aloof.
Oh, that must make it very lonely for you.
Oh, it does. But my duty is my duty.
Well, Martha, since Mr. Witherspoon can't join us for breakfast, maybe he would like to try a glass of our elderberry wine.
Elderberry wine?
Oh, yes, we make this ourselves.
Oh, why, yes. Of course, at Happydale, our relationship will have to remain much more formal. But here, you know, you don't see much elderberry wine nowadays. I thought I'd had my very last glass of it.
Oh, no. No, here it is.